the cameras flashed, the crowd froze, and just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
Yeah, the tabloids basically printed themselves.
Right. The headline read, "They destroyed two families to be together. Now this is happening."
It was, the kind of absolute all-consuming pop culture wildfire that you just couldn't look away from.
Exactly. Welcome to Starscope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today we are unpacking the wild 15-year saga of country superstar LeAnn Rimes and actor Eddie Cibrian.
We really are. And we've got a massive stack of sources for this deep dive for you today.
Oh yeah, ranging from magazine timelines and prime-timer updates, all the way to recent tour press releases and some deeply personal Instagram posts.
Yeah, our mission today is to explore how the celebrity scandal of the century evolved into a highly complex, very real story. We're talking about aging, some bizarre medical treatments, and heart-wrenching family reality.
What's fascinating here is that this isn't just some nostalgic tabloid retrospective.
No, not at all.
We're looking at a real-time masterclass in how public figures navigate the long-term, decades-later consequences of highly scrutinized life choices.
Which is so interesting for you listening, right?
Yeah.
Because it's really a psychological study of fame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fame, the passage of time, and the physical toll of living under a microscope.
Okay, let's unpack this, because we have to rewind the clock to see how this demolition actually started.
Right, back to the beginning.
And I was digging through our sources, looking at the timeline, and I found a detail that honestly completely changes how I view this entire narrative.
Oh, the garage photo.
Yes. They didn't just meet as bored, married adults on a movie set.
Right.
Eddie actually found an old photo in his garage proving they first met way back in 1996.
Which is wild.
LeAnn was only 14 years old at the time. And he was a 23-year-old actor working on the soap opera, The Young and the Restless.
Which, psychologically speaking, is a brilliant anchor for them to use.
Wait, what do you mean by anchor?
Well, when people engage in behavior that society deems destructive, like stepping outside of a marriage, they often search for a narrative to justify it.
Oh, sure, to make themselves feel better.
Right. So by finding that photo, it suddenly adds the surreal layer of destiny to the narrative.
Wow, yeah.
It shifts the framework from we made a selfish choice to the universe was pushing us together all along, we just didn't know it yet.
That makes so much sense. It romanticizes the collateral damage.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward to November 2008.
Okay.
They are on the set of the Lifetime movie Northern Lights. The stakes are incredibly high because both of them are married to other people.
Very publicly married.
Right. Eddie is married to reality star Brandi Glanville, and LeAnn is married to dancer Dean Shermet.
So they are established adults with deeply intertwined lives, financial assets, and, in Eddie's case, children.
Exactly. And then comes the eruption. March 2009, rumors just ignite after they're spotted getting very affectionate at a Laguna Beach eatery.
And Eddie immediately goes on the defensive.
And he completely deflects.
Yeah.
He issues a statement to Access Hollywood calling it a fabricated story that uses random snapshots to create a scandalous relationship.
Deny, deflect, attack the source.
Yep.
I mean, it is the absolute bedrock of traditional crisis PR. You try to extinguish the spark before the public realizes there's a fire.
But the fire is already out of control.
Oh, entirely.
By July 2009, just months later, both of them split from their spouses.
Yeah, it was fast.
Right. And by August, they're making their public debut at a Kings of Leon concert and hitting the Valencia Country Club.
They weren't hiding anymore.
Not at all. And then we get to June 2010. LeAnn breaks her silence in an exclusive interview with People magazine.
This is the big one.
She admits that what she did was selfish. She says she hates that people got hurt. But then she drops this famous line.
Oh, I know the line.
She says, "I don't regret the outcome."
Yeah.
By December, she's flashing a 5-carat oval diamond engagement ring. And by April 2011, they throw a tiny 40-guest wedding.
That People magazine quote is, arguably the pivot point of her entire public persona.
Really? How so?
By saying, "I don't regret the outcome," LeAnn essentially broke the established celebrity PR playbook.
Right.
Usually the strategy is total contrition. You beg for forgiveness, you hide away, you perform penance for the public.
Wait, hold on. Did she actually break the playbook, or was she just being incredibly arrogant? Because saying, "I don't regret it," while posing with a massive diamond ring, doesn't feel like accountability to me. It feels like she's rubbing salt in the wound of the people she hurt.
That is exactly why it infuriated the public.
Yeah.
But psychologically, it was a necessary survival mechanism.
Okay, explain that.
If she admits full regret, she invalidates the relationship she just blew up her life to get. It's cognitive dissonance.
Oh, wow.
She had to believe the new relationship was worth the sheer amount of destruction it caused.
I see. It's like, well, my favorite analogy for this whole situation. Most Hollywood affairs are like natural disasters.
Right. Sudden and chaotic.
Exactly, and over quickly.
Yeah.
But this was a controlled demolition.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
They tore down 2 lives, intentionally, systematically, to build exactly what they wanted on the empty lot.
That is a perfect way to describe it. And because they were so defiant about surviving the wreckage, the public essentially pulled up lawn chairs to watch.
We really did.
Everyone wanted to see if the foundation they poured over the ashes of 2 marriages would actually hold.
Well, the foundation held against the tabloids. But wait till you hear what came next.
Oh, the pivot.
Because 15 years later, the drama isn't coming from the paparazzi. It's coming from their own bodies. And a very bizarre oil change.
The shift from PR crises to medical crises is a fascinating evolution here.
It really is, and I want to dive deep into exactly what is happening to them physically. Last June in 2025, LeAnn Rimes was mid-song during a concert when her false teeth literally fell out on stage.
Oh, man. The ultimate loss of control for someone whose entire life is built on public presentation.
Exactly. And it sparked this wild chain of wellness controversies.
Right.
As LeAnn and Eddie have aged into their 40s and 50s, the focus of their public lives has shifted heavily toward intense health journeys.
Which, to be fair, they've been open about.
They have. Now, the context here is important. LeAnn had already opened up about spending 30 days in a facility back in 2020 to treat severe depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
She was very honest that her mental health struggles had taken a heavy toll on their marriage.
And we have to look at the biological connection there. You don't endure a decade and a half of intense public scrutiny, paparazzi hounding, and internalized guilt without your body keeping the score.
It catches up to you.
Absolutely. Chronic stress physically degrades the nervous system.
Which perfectly explains the first of these crazy medical treatments she started documenting. She posted a viral video of herself undergoing jaw release therapy.
Oh, I saw this.
In the clip, she is literally moaning in pain, and when the treatment finishes, she just bursts into tears.
It's an intense video.
Right. I have to admit, when I first watched it, I was completely confused. Like, why is someone sobbing uncontrollably over a jaw massage?
It sounds strange until you understand the physiology of the masseter muscle, the main muscle of the jaw.
Okay.
It is one of the strongest muscles in the human body, and it is intrinsically linked to our fight-or-flight response.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When we are stressed, angry, or holding back words we want to say, we unconsciously clench our jaws. Over 15 years of scandal, LeAnn was literally bracing for impact.
Oh, wow.
Right? So trauma and tension get locked into the fascia, the connective tissue around that muscle.
Makes sense?
When a physical therapist aggressively works that tissue to release the physical knot, it often triggers a massive somatic release. The nervous system suddenly lets go of years of pent-up emotional defense, and the physiological response is uncontrollable crying.
So it's not just the pain.
Exactly. She isn't just crying from the pain. Her body is offloading a decade of stress.
That is wild. It makes the video seem so much less like a PR stunt and so much more like a biological necessity.
Definitely.
But she didn't stop at her jaw. She also documented herself getting a therapeutic plasma exchange, or TPE, at Next Health in Nashville.
The famous oil change.
Yes. She described this to her followers as an oil change for your body.
And this is where the wellness industry intersects with extreme wealth, because this is not like a spa treatment. This is an intensive medical procedure.
Right. I was reading up on the mechanics of this. They literally hook you up to a machine that centrifuges your blood.
It's wild.
It separates out the liquid portion, the plasma, which they claim is holding all these micro-toxins, mold, and microplastics. They discard your dirty plasma and replace it with fresh albumin and stem cells to encourage cellular repair.
And it is not cheap.
No. It's a $10,000 tune-up.
If we break down the science of what she is trying to achieve, albumin is a protein made by your liver that helps keep fluid in your bloodstream so it doesn't leak into other tissues.
Okay.
By flushing the system and introducing fresh albumin and stem cells, the goal is to massively reduce systemic inflammation. Again, she's trying to outrun the physical degradation caused by aging and chronic stress.
And naturally, because the internet is undefeated, rumors immediately started swirling that this massive blood filtering treatment was somehow a desperate fix for her teeth falling out on stage.
Oh, of course. People will connect anything.
LeAnn actually had to jump onto her Instagram stories to set the record straight, telling people that this high-tech oil change had absolutely nothing to do with the dental incident.
It just highlights the intense pressure of maintaining a flawless facade in an industry that notoriously discards aging women.
And speaking of maintaining facades, you cannot have a story about LeAnn Rimes without hearing from the ex-wife, Brandi Glanville. Because Brandi could not resist weighing in on her podcast, Unfiltered. She completely shaded LeAnn's crying jaw therapy video.
What did she say?
Brandi asked why anyone would share something so weird. She claims she also has TMJ temporomandibular joint disorder and has done that exact same painful procedure a million times.
Right.
She basically used it as an opportunity to boast about having a much higher pain tolerance than LeAnn.
Which is where the irony reaches its absolute, unavoidable peak.
Oh, completely.
Brandi is criticizing LeAnn for oversharing a vulnerable medical procedure, but Brandi herself is currently recovering from and aggressively documenting a massive, terrifying health disfigurement of her own.
I couldn't believe the details of Brandi's situation when I read them. They are terrifying. She has been battling a mysterious facial disfigurement.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Her face swelled up to the point where she was unrecognizable.
And she spent months desperately searching for an answer. She theorized she might have caught a face-deforming parasite during a trip to Morocco, or that she was suffering from stress-induced angioedema.
I read she went to 21 different doctors.
21.
How does a person even endure that level of medical gaslighting and confusion?
It speaks to how complex the human body is, especially when foreign objects are introduced. Because what she finally discovered was biological, not parasitic.
Right.
Her 20-year-old breast implants had completely ruptured.
And here is where I really need you to explain the how of this, because it sounds like a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
How do ruptured implants in your chest end up disfiguring your face?
It all comes down to the lymphatic system.
Okay.
Think of your lymphatic system as your body's internal drainage and waste removal network. It's a series of vessels and nodes that transport fluid, immune cells, and waste.
Right.
When Brandi's implants ruptured, the silicone didn't just stay in her chest, it leaked out and was absorbed by her lymphatic system.
That sounds awful.
The silicone sludge essentially traveled through those drainage pipes and severely clogged her lymph nodes. When the drainage system backs up, you get massive localized swelling and severe infection, which manifested in her face.
So what does this all mean? We have two women, forever linked by this massive Hollywood scandal from 2009, both using their digital platform to broadcast incredibly graphic, painful medical trauma.
It's a striking parallel.
I have to ask you, as someone listening to this deep dive, when celebrities share these intense, vulnerable medical moments, like crying during jaw therapy or explaining a $10,000 blood plasma oil change, does it actually help destigmatize the realities of health? Or is it just the newest, strangest form of celebrity oversharing to stay relevant?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, I think it reveals a profound and humbling truth about the human condition.
How so?
Both the current wife and the ex-wife are publicly battling severe physical ailments. It strips away all the Hollywood glamour.
Totally.
It shows us that no amount of fame, no amount of tabloid relevance, and no amount of money can protect you from the physical realities of your biology breaking down. Implants rupture, teeth fall out, the immune system fails. Biology is the great equalizer.
That is such a grounded way to look at it.
Yeah.
They are fighting the exact same battle against time, just in different doctors' offices.
Exactly.
Listen, if you're loving these Hollywood twists and the psychology behind them, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead in this deep dive.
We really do.
Because in a few minutes, we are going to talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming during what was supposed to be a romantic 15-year celebration.
It's a moment that really tests the foundation we talked about earlier.
Exactly. So let's get right into the heart-wrenching anniversary. A luxury Cabo San Lucas vacation meant to celebrate 15 years of marriage turns into a tear-filled coping session.
Let's set the stage for where LeAnn and Eddie are right now, in April 2026. Professionally, LeAnn is experiencing a massive career resurgence.
Huge. Her greatest hits Christmas album just hit #1 on the Mediabase holiday chart.
Which is incredible.
Yeah. She is preparing to launch her 30 Years of Blue tour, celebrating the anniversary of her breakout childhood hit. And she's co-starring in ABC's hit series 9111 Nashville alongside Chris O'Donnell.
So the career is thriving, and personally, according to her own interviews, she and Eddie have cultivated a very calm life.
A far cry from 2009.
Absolutely. Eddie's sons, from his marriage to Brandi Mason, who is 22, and Jake, who is 19, are still heavily involved in their daily lives.
Right.
LeAnn has actually talked about how unnerving that domestic piece was at first because her nervous system was so biologically conditioned to expect chaos, but they eventually found their quiet together.
Which brings us to April 2026. They travel down to Cabo San Lucas to celebrate a friend's 50th birthday, which happens to perfectly coincide with their own 15th wedding anniversary.
The perfect photo op.
Yes, and LeAnn posts an update to Instagram that completely shocks her fans. Picture this cinematic contrast. You are looking at a gorgeous, perfectly lit photo of LeAnn in a vibrant red string bikini. She looks fit, radiant, standing on a beautiful Mexican beach with the sun setting behind her. It is the absolute ultimate picture of wealth, relaxation, and having it all figured out.
But the caption tells a completely different, deeply human story.
The caption is devastating. She writes that this luxury trip was actually a brief, desperate escape from very tense, heart-wrenching things happening at home with family.
Wow.
She openly describes the anniversary as being filled with tears and worry. She talks about the strange, exhausting experience of trying to hold space for both joy and profound grief at the exact same time.
It completely shatters the illusion of the photograph.
Yeah.
And it highlights the unique burden of blended families.
For sure.
When you marry someone with children and you navigate co-parenting with an ex-spouse, you are taking on a massive emotional load that never really goes away no matter how much time passes.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Despite this heavy, invisible grief she's carrying, she still manages to keep her sense of humor about the reality of their relationship.
Right, the vows.
Yes. On the actual day of their anniversary, she posts a tribute with new vows for Eddie. She writes, "In perimenopause and in health, with teeth and without. Here's to you catching up and me returning the favor."
Which is a brilliant self-deprecating callback to the concert incident.
It really is.
It shows a level of vulnerability and self-awareness that you rarely see from a celebrity of her stature.
It's hilarious, but it's also so raw. And I want to move past the cliche of just calling this Instagram versus reality.
Yeah.
I think about this more like structural load testing in engineering.
Oh, I like that. Tell me more.
Well, think about it. Back in 2009, they intentionally detonated 2 marriages to build this new structure together. We call it controlled demolition.
Right?
The public watched the explosion. But Cabo in 2026, that is the load test.
Oh, absolutely.
This is where we see if the foundation they poured 15 years ago can actually hold the immense, crushing weight of blended family grief, aging bodies, and medical crises. It's easy to stand strong when everything is fine. It takes real structural integrity to hold up when you're crying on a beach in Mexico.
That is a phenomenal analogy. And if we look at the evolution of their relationship, that structural integrity is the most striking takeaway.
It really is.
This is a relationship forged in a highly destructive, admittedly selfish scandal. It was chaotic. It deeply hurt people.
It destroyed families.
Right. Yet somehow, 15 years later, it has become the single most grounding force in LeAnn Rimes' life. In her caption, she talks about how they know how to ride the waves and mend what needs mending. Eddie has become her rock as they ride what she calls the roller coaster of life.
It's a complete inversion of how they started. Before we wrap up today's deep dive, a quick reminder. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. We are always uncovering the layers behind these massive cultural moments.
And the layers here run exceptionally deep.
They really do. And that brings us to why this 15-year saga actually matters to you, the listener. Because at its core, this isn't just about a country singer and a soap opera actor.
Oh, it's bigger than that.
It reminds us that behind the $10,000 plasma exchanges, behind the hit ABC TV shows and the luxury beach vacations in Cabo, everyone is carrying a heavy, invisible burden. Even the stars we envy the most.
Oh, true.
The cameras capture the smiles, the red bikinis, and the flawless skin. But they rarely capture the structural load testing happening just out of frame.
This raises an important final question for you to mull over, and it's a profound one about the nature of redemption.
What's that?
Can a relationship born out of the absolute destruction of 2 families eventually heal to become the most stable, authentic, and grounding thing in a person's life?
Oh.
Looking at the reality of LeAnn and Eddie today, It suggests that sometimes the most beautiful, enduring structures are actually built on the absolute messiest foundations.
That is incredibly well said. And it brings us right back to those flashing cameras and frozen crowds 15 years ago. They tore it all down, but they really did build something that lasted. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.